I barely remember putting together the last redacted video. Probably has something to do with amnestics, although we'll never know for sure. Oh well, nothing I can do about it now. If my brain's being slowly coagulated by memetics and anti-memes, so be it. I'll keep bringing you the information and disinformation you need to stay at the top of your game. Lots of SCP entries are heavily redacted or even have info expunged thanks to all sorts of cognito hazards and memes. Of course, while discussing SCP, memes don't just mean funny internet pictures. No sir. They become contagious, self-replicating, or self-sustaining ideas. Dawkins coined the term to refer to ideas that self-replicate and spread throughout cultures, but it becomes a little more sinister and dangerous when anomalous properties are introduced. Oh baby. Today's video has a lot to do with memes, especially ones that probably shouldn't be shared for the sake of safety. But we'll throw safety out the window. There are SCPs to discuss. Hello horror heads and welcome back to the Scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host, Keegan Hughes, and today we're taking a look at the Top 5 Scariest Redacted SCP Monsters, Part 2. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more viral viciousness. Oh, and also remember to take some notes about yourself now, just in case you forget along the way. Always good to have a point of reference. Fantastic. Let's get going. Kicking us off at number 5, we have SCP-055, the original self-keeping secret, the anti-meme. All information about 055's appearance, nature, behavior, and origins is self-classifying. Anyone can stroll into its containment chamber and view it, even study it, taking notes if they so choose. However, once they leave, that information will leak out of their mind. It's not indescribable or invisible, it's just impossible to learn or disseminate information about it. Odd. To this day, it's unknown how the Foundation came to acquire it. They don't even know when it came into their custody or who brought it in. Gotta love it. Who needs to redact info when no info exists? This presents a sort of weird paradox though. How do we know that it's an anti-meme? Wouldn't that information disappear as well? Well, somehow it is known that nothing is known. Stay with me, I can see the steam pouring out of your ears. Some clever researcher decided to experiment with the epistemological implications of an SCP like this and posited this question: what if we took notes about what it isn't? This led to the folks down at the lab being able to remember what 055 is not and then repeatedly deduce its existence from this. Boy, that's a lot of creative problem solving, huh? It's definitely scary and dangerous though, with some hypotheses wondering if it might be something inserted by another party with the purpose of observing or interfering with all sorts of things. There's no way to combat this though, because nobody would remember what to do. How do you fight something with effortless, perfect camouflage? How do you fight when you don't know you're at war? Oh, anti-memetics. Coming in at number 4, we have SCP-2521. Yeah, we've discussed this one before. It's actually quite popular. So of course we all know that it's one of the more interesting things about this SCP is the fact that it can and nobody's been able to figure out where it goes after it. Just make sure you never ever lest you get where happen. Just take a look at that detail how to 2521 and everything will be okay. Just use what I just told you to keep yourself safe, alright? Coming in at number 3, SCP-3211. Okay, I want everyone to go check out this one themselves. Click the link, follow the instructions, and report back to me. I don't know if it changes for each individual person or what. What I do know is that 3211 is a slow-acting anti-memetic anomaly. Once you start reading up on it, you can only recall information about it for up to 6 minutes. After those 6 minutes are up, it'll put some false memories in your head and you'll remember something not at all related to the SCP. Soon after, you'll believe it doesn't exist at all. So go read the article for 6 minutes and let me know what the heck happens to you specifically. I read about a pair of gloves that take anything you put inside them and then it puts it into the subject's mouth. You could push an entire broomstick through the glove and out someone's mouth if you were careful. Of course, after 6 minutes of exposure, you'd forget all about it though. But then again, that's not a real SCP, it's just a fake inserted memory. Some other folks have described microwave ovens, red cubes, the color puce, and a DVD box of Friends missing one disc. I'm just really confused, okay? Coming in at number 2, SCP-3939. This is another one that you need to experience for yourself. Somehow a researcher was able to contain a memetic anomaly within the entry document itself. Once you get started, it reads like a choose-your-own-adventure story. So you go through the motions as a senior researcher trying to classify and contain a new anomaly with very little prior knowledge. The senior researcher character was actually embedded into the story itself to ensure that containment is maintained. As such, he must remain redacted as an additional layer of protection from 3939. Unfortunately, he's also considered to be terminated as he can never leave the story loop. The poor lad laid it all on the line to keep this SCP contained. Thankfully so too, as 3939 is an aggressive meme able to move through any type of information-based medium. It can pass from individual to individual through any communicative method, although stories seem to be the most effective. It's easier for the meme to move to new folks if they're engaged in the media itself, so narratives are perfect catalysts. The researcher I mentioned before found out that if you were to develop a story as an experimental form of containment, the SCP could be limited. By inserting himself as a character into the story, 3939 imprints onto him instead of the reader. Then when the story ends, it resets and de-imprints. Thus, perfect containment is achieved. You could read through the story in every possible permutation and it would remain contained. Outstanding work, Mr. Researcher. However, if the story is altered in certain ways, there is a possibility that it might escape, so let's all be careful. SCPs exist on a wiki after all. And lastly at number 1, SCP-3125. This one is so redacted it requires a password to access. Really, if you want to see it, it's hidden behind a keypad, you gotta know the code. I won't let you in on that secret, sorry, but anyone with a little bit of determination and research capacity should be able to figure it out. Just remember that fifithism is heavily connected to memetics. Fives, huh? All information about 3125 is kept in a top secret, lead-lined, telepathically shielded room and only one person is allowed in at a time. Plus, upon exit, everyone enters an airlock full of amnestic gas for 3 whole minutes, so no information is getting out. This memetic monster could destroy the world if enough people visualized it. 3125 is an extremely large, highly aggressive, anomalous, metastasized meme complex. It's also a mouthful. Don't make me say that one again. However, it made its way into our reality even though it originated somewhere outside of it. It's adapted to much harsher circumstances than the human mind, and we have no natural defenses against it. So it can possess us and make us unable to entertain weaker conventional ideas. Any thought you've ever had would be sublimated into whatever higher order info this meme has to offer. Then you devote your time to furthering its spread. If this being were to ever fully make its way into our reality, we would probably be done in about 12 hours. Humanity would cease to be, as ideas of civilization, culture, society, community, and family would simply stop existing. MK class end of world scenario, baby. Maybe we can stop it, you think? Well, if anyone's able to assemble a mental picture of this thing, then it'll also be able to perceive whoever's thinking about it. It then kills them and all mental bystanders. Mental bystanders, huh? This could be a research group, friends, or even the family of the original observer. This attack also removes all knowledge of the being and its attack from the world, another self-keeping secret. Thanks to this defense mechanism, there's pretty much no history of the thing. We've got no idea how the containment was built or how containment procedures were established. Plus, through extrapolation, it's been hypothesized that memetics research would be much more highly developed if not for 3125. All competent memetic research would eventually discover it, and then they'd be killed, and all the information would be taken away. Yeah. So let's just hope it takes its sweet, sweet time fully manifesting. Goodness gracious. So what do you think? If you still can think. There's a reason these things are top secret, eh? I can honestly say I lost some brain cells thinking in circles around some of these things. Which one's your favorite? Are any other memetics or redacteds on the table for discussion? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's have a look at some of your more forgetful ones from top 5 scariest SCP creatures that managed to escape, part 2. Kurt Popejoy says, Keegan of the floating head and hands. I mean, I guess that's what I get for wearing a black turtleneck on a horror channel. The darkness consumes all. Thomas Short asks, are you a dad? Because that fresh chair joke is top-notch dad level. I'm not a dad, or at least I don't think I am. Life can be unpredictable at times. Quintessential says, did you hear about the lawsuit in Russia against the SCP community? Maybe do a video on it so people can keep SCP going. I have heard. I actually talked about it a little bit in a recent video, and I'll talk about it again now. Someone's trying to illegitimately copyright and leverage SCP content for their own personal gain. The SCP community is running a crowdfunding campaign to cover legal costs to fight this. I'll link the campaign in the description. Quidarius Owens says, Keegan, are you an escaped SCP? Obviously, I can't answer that question. Watch your back. And Skylar Horton says, love hearing SCP's encounters with other SCPs. We love intertextuality. The more the merrier, I say. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Some clever researcher decided this mimetic monster could destroy the world if enough 3125 is an extremely large, highly aggressive, anomalous metastasized. 3125 is an extremely large, highly aggressive, anomalous metastasized. Oh, I can see the bloopers already. It's like that thing, what is it? I'm trying to say anemone in Finding Nemo.